Hey everyone, and welcome to the official Hero Wars YouTube channel. Yes, it is me, Ivan Ivanovich Ivanovsky. Today, we have a big announcement to make. Since we admixters are hungry from not receiving any money from you players in a while, and even this video suffers from poor budget as a result, we have decided to up our game and drop the sickest update yet. We are bringing back the trend of rebalancing old heroes to make them more suitable for the current game. This time, we have decided to improve Judge, as he is the least used hero in the game, and our inboxes are blowing up with constant requests to rework him. Since the players love max stats to insurmountable heights, for this update, we have decided to collab with Loadrunner to give everyone a sneak preview of what can be expected from Judge's rework. First of all, we are rectifying a game-breaking bug which incorrectly displayed Judge's stats. For unknown reasons, Judge has been using only 0.0001% of his actual stats this whole time. In the next update, we are fixing this, and appropriately increasing Judge's stats to their intended values. We believe that Judge's skill set is appropriate, however, the number values are not, which is why we are boosting those as well. For Judge's ultimate skill, we have determined that it deals little damage and only helps the enemy team charge faster. We have improved its damage value by more than 10 times to make this skill actually more threatening and allow Judge to be a true mage to be feared. His green skill currently breaks relatively quickly, which is why we are improving its power tenfold as well. The same goes for his blue skill, which will now restore even more health with the next attack that is blocked. As far as his purple passive ability goes, in current form, it is extremely useless, as the average magic defense has massively increased since the introduction of this skill, which is why we have decided to dramatically increase its power as well. Now Judge no longer has to fear opponents with huge magic defense. Judge will also be the only hero with exclusive access to level 160, as well as the ability to push skills to level 160, the ability to upgrade glyphs to level 60, the ability to upgrade artifacts to level 120 and the ability to upgrade skins to level 80. Now you might be wondering, why is there a 1% next to Judge's name? This brings us to a new feature that is exclusive to Judge only. Looking at his stats, you might be thinking, Judge is already strong, but he has the ability to grow even stronger. Judge will be able to increase his percentage, which defines how much power he is currently using. For example, Judge starts at 1%, which means Judge is only at 1% of his true power. If you increase it to 2%, Judge's power will slightly increase. The range in which Judge's power can be rated spans from 1% to 100%. When Judge reaches the maximum value, or 100% in other words, something very special will happen. Judge will transform into his true form and be able to use all of his power. With this transformation, Judge will have multiple new mechanics that are also unique only to him alone and in this form. First thing that will change about Judge upon reaching 100% of his power is that he will discard his 2 previous roles, and acquire a new one, called God Role. It is a role that is granted to heroes that can do everything in this game. The advantage of this role is that they also benefit from every single daily pet adventure buff there is, meaning there is no day they go unbuffed in pet adventures. Speaking of pets, while Judge's patronage will remain the same in his regular form, upon reaching 100% of his power, Judge will be able to use the patronage of any pet and all of them at once. So if you wish to give Judge every single pet in the existence, you will have the option to do so. Another thing 100% power Judge will possess alone are 2 new stats, Pure Penetration and Energy Charge. Energy Charge is pretty self-explanatory. Judge will receive more energy with his regular attacks, skill activations, and for taking damage. 100% power Judge will have 500% energy charge stat by default, meaning he will always receive 6 times as much energy under all circumstances than every other hero, and it can further stack with special buffs, like pet adventure buffs, or abilities like Jorgen's Cycle of Energies ability. Pure Penetration is a completely new concept, which might sound a bit confusing at first, but it is very easy to understand. Did you know that it is possible to defend against pure damage? Just kidding, we do not expect that much from our players. We know that you most likely do not know and you are waiting for us to explain it to you, but yes, it is indeed possible to fight against pure damage to some extent. Pure damage can be diminished through special abilities, such as Cornelius's Rune of Suppression skill if the pure damage itself is based on magic attack stat, Phobos's Trembling Hands skill or Faceless's Chain Lightning skill if the pure damage is based on physical attack stat, Krista's Crystallization skill if the pure damage itself should exceed 20% or more HP damage taken in one single hit, or Axel's Defensive Blood Patronage skill that puts a hard cap on the amount of damage that can be taken in one single hit, regardless of damage type. This same buff is also used for Seymour and Adventure bosses. And Vari's Nature's Barrier is also a useful support skill against pure damage, because it shields its recipient from taking a certain amount of physical or pure damage and converts it to extra energy, and in Adventures you can also obtain pure damage resistance buffs to take less damage from pure damage, or encounter them. What Pure Penetration will do is it will diminish or even negate these special protections and buffs granting pure damage resistances, and allow the user to deal more or even full damage to the opponents with pure damage. 100% Power Judge innately possesses 100% Pure Penetration stat, meaning he will completely negate these abilities and deal full damage to everything regardless of protections. 100% Power Judge will further have exclusive access to level 300, and with that also comes access to level 300 skill levels. He will also have access to level 100 glyphs, level 100 skins, and level 300 artifacts. Speaking of artifacts, you might have noticed that Judge's weapon artifact has 500% activation chance, and you might be wondering what does it mean. To explain it simply, when you have 100% activation chance, you will trigger your weapon artifact once with guaranteed chance. Should you have 101% activation chance, you would have a guaranteed chance to trigger the effect once, and additional 1% chance to trigger it once more. Since Judge's weapon artifact has 500% activation chance, this effectively means that whenever Judge uses his ultimate ability, he will trigger his weapon artifact 5 times at once, rather than the usual single time. With this adjustment, we would like to encourage building mage teams again, because in case you have not noticed it yet, magic is the superior form of damage compared to physical. On the matter of skins, 100% Power Judge will have different skins. The default skin remains to be the same. His first skin is called Antique Skin, and it will increase Judge's magic attack and magic penetration values. His second skin is his Royal Skin, which will increase Judge's health and dodge. His last skin is his Emperor's Skin, which will increase Judge's armor penetration and critical hit chance. The correct appearances of 100% Power Judge and his skins are not properly updated on the max stats pages yet, so you will have to wait a bit for that to be fixed, or until this update goes live. The upgrades on Judge's skins, as well as everything else, will transfer over when you evolve your Judge to his final form, so do not worry about losing your investments. We are not that evil. The last thing that changes about 100% Power Judge are his skills. His ultimate skill, Galactic Tempest, is an improvement of the Ion Cyclone skill. It changes Judge's basic attacks from physical to pure, and upon activation, Judge will strike the entire enemy team with deadly lightning strikes, hitting every enemy 8 times in total per activation, doing pure damage. His green skill, Shield of Justice, is an improvement of the Force Field skill. It absorbs more damage than before, and now also reflects the damage absorbed back at doubled ratio, similar to the Earth Barrier in Titan battles. The type of damage reflected depends on the recipient of the skill. Intelligence-based heroes will reflect magic damage, strength and agility-based heroes will reflect physical damage, and God Roll heroes will reflect pure damage. Magic damage reflected back will be affected by Judge's magic penetration. Physical damage will be affected by Judge's armor penetration, and pure damage will be affected by Judge's pure penetration. Additionally, physical damage reflected by this skill will also have the chance to be critical, depending on Judge's critical hit stat, dealing double the damage once again when it happens. And while this can also be dodged, such thing is unlikely to happen because of Judge's high main stat value. While the skill is active, the recipient of the skill cannot be debuffed in any way, and debuffing does not consume the shield's durability at all. His blue skill, Replica of God, is an improvement of the hologram skill. For starters, it heals much more than before. It also now has 15 uses per activation rather than its former 1 use per activation, meaning Judge will now block much more per activation of the skill. Additionally, whoever attacks Judge while the skill is active will be charmed for 8 seconds, and unlike Leon's charm, this does not break upon taking damage, no matter the damage source, and it cannot be blocked by Sebastian's Ode to Serenity shield. Allied Leon's charms will likewise not be able to overwrite these charms with her own charms, preventing jeopardy of the team. Now as for his purple skill, Divine Presence, it is an improvement of the interference generator skill. This skill is very interesting. It is perhaps Judge's most powerful weapon. It grants him complete invulnerability to damage and all debuffs, while it also negates special abilities and immunities of the enemy team. This means that Judge will be able to kill Rufus with any kind of damage, and that he will also ignore immunity buffs provided from Arcus's Holy Shield skill and adventure buffs, and Kark's Negator of Laws skill will shatter upon being hit by Judge's physical attack. Additionally, Judge with this ability will curse every enemy with a debuff called Divine Pressure at the beginning of the battle, and will continuously attempt to reapply it should the enemy somehow remove it or resist it. This debuff cannot be removed or resisted by any standard means. This debuff will damage every enemy every second with pure damage, and will not stop until all enemies are dead. The intensity of this debuff will depend on the level of the skill alone. All of these skills will have a different appearance too, but once again this detail is not updated on the max stats page yet, so you will have to wait for this to be updated, or until this update goes live. Now you might be wondering, how am I going to upgrade 1% Judge all the way to his maximum potential? And to answer that question, we have yet another big announcement to make. With the Judge Rebalance update, we are also introducing new endgame content for experienced players. We are adding a new location to the main city of Dominion called Realm of Divinity. Once you access that area, you will be able to take a special trial which involves defeating bosses. More specifically, you will be able to fight Infernal Archdemon, Sub-Zero Shavrock, Evolved Kornik, Abomination Cleaver, Abomination Ginger, Abomination Orion, Abomination Galahad, Swordmaster Vadjar, Queen Alyssa, King Brog and lastly Hyper Seymour. Defeating any of those bosses will increase Judge's power by 1% per fight, and you can fight each boss 9 times at most. Defeat all the bosses all 9 times and Judge will reach his full power. Here is a catch though. Each boss has a special prerequisite for unlocking their battle. To unlock Infernal Archdemon boss fight, you have to clear Furnace of Horror mission in Campaign Chapter 8 with 3 stars. To unlock Sub-Zero Shavrock boss fight, you have to clear Escape from Winter mission in Campaign Chapter 13 with 3 stars. To unlock Evolved Kornik boss fight, you have to clear Heart of the Capital mission in Campaign Chapter 14 with 3 stars. To unlock Abomination Cleaver boss fight, you have to clear Adventure 13 Cleaver's version with all chests open. To unlock Abomination Ginger boss fight, you have to clear Adventure 13 Ginger's version with all chests open. To unlock Abomination Orion boss fight, you have to clear Adventure 13 Orion's version with all chests open. To unlock Abomination Galahad boss fight, you have to clear Adventure 13 Galahad's version with all chests open. To unlock Swordmaster Vadjar boss fight, you have to defeat level 160 Vadjar in Outland. To unlock Queen Alyssa boss fight, you have to defeat level 160 Alyssa in Outland. To unlock King Brog boss fight, you have to defeat level 160 Brog in Outland. And lastly, to unlock Hyper Seymour boss fight, you have to clear Eternal Darkness mission in Campaign Chapter 15 with 3 stars. These bosses are much stronger than their standard counterparts, and additionally, rematching them constantly escalates their power to greater heights, making their subsequent battles much harder. Another thing to keep in mind is that only one boss fight can be cleared in a single day, meaning unlocking 100% power Judge will require no less than 99 days of hard work. We would like to emphasize on hard work more with this update. After all, you are trying to achieve the ultimate power. It does not hurt to work hard for it once in a while. Once your Judge reaches 100% of his true power, it will trigger a special cutscene in which Judge transforms to his true form, and uses his newfound powers to grant one single wish to the player as an appreciation for all of his help to get him this far, which is 10 million emeralds free of charge. Before this video ends, there is one more thing that needs to be said. With the introduction of this system, we are going to rework the combat system to accommodate for greater efficiency of the newly improved Judge. For starters, we are going to make power level matter once again. When you have high level of power, you will be able to crush any enemy significantly weaker than you easily once again. We are also removing energy generation based on damage taken from every hero except for those who truly depend on it. such as Cleaver and Martha. With this change, we are hoping to avoid discrepancies such as Judge at 45% power defeating Judge at 64% power just because of faster energy gain, as this is something that goes against our ideas of making power relevant again, and we are sincerely tired of people asking us for this change. We are also hoping to encourage building heroes like Jorgen again, who have been negatively affected by this unintended game design. Thanks for watching. Who do you think would win if two judges at 100% power clashed against each other? We already know the answer, but we would like to hear your opinions in comments. And lastly, bad luck in Dominion, so we can milk your wallets even more. Ahem 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 ahem. I mean, good luck in Dominion. We gotta cut this part of the video.